Hi, I'm Dr. Mark, and I'm going to help you sing and perform more like the top artists around the world. I'm a professional voice teacher, performance coach, and opera stage director. I've helped thousands of singers around the world learn the techniques and methods that got the top singers to where they are. Okay, so thanks to some of my viewers, I'm going to be comparing TNT back from 2018 to TNT just recently, their kind of Zoom performance thing, right? Their online performance. So it's going to be a 2-video series where the first one I'm going to talk about TNT then, and then you're going to find the link down below to 2 of 2, which is TNT's video now, and see what we have to say, see what's different, see how they've changed, how they've adjusted, how they've grown, and in some instances how they've stayed the same and stayed consistent. The video that we're going to watch first is Flashlight, and the video was posted in June 2018. It's approximately 2 years ago. Lots change in young boys' voices and what they're doing and the performance in anybody's voice in these younger years. So really excited to see how they've changed.
TNT versions.
When tomorrow comes, I'll be on my own, feeling frightened of the things that I don't know. When tomorrow comes, tomorrow comes.
So first thing I want to point out here is that they are engaged with what's going on musically from the very beginning. They're with their body, their mind, their faces. They don't just stand there deer in the headlights waiting for their turn to start, doesn't wait for the music. They internalize the music from before the music starts. Awesome. 2, you're also going to notice the upper 2 smile. This ass space is in there. This jaw is relatively relaxed and released. They're really breathing intentionally before each phrase. Excellent, awesome work.
Tomorrow comes, and though the road is long, I look up to the sky, and then I take a fell. Let's hope that I won't fly, and I sing along, I sing along, and I sing along.
I laugh because these little guys are so awesome. I mean, wow, what voices. Another thing I want to point out to you is you'll notice that when they smile, how much that connects us to them as an audience, right? There's nothing that's more endearing or makes us feel more empathetic towards someone than seeing them smile at us. So it's not just a vocal thing, it's not just a visual thing, it's both things working together. Really valuable. Give it a try. Just a nice, relaxed, natural smile. Try to put that in as much as you're singing as you can and see what it does. If it makes it easier here, awesome. If it makes it uncomfortable here, then there's some other issues we need to address first. You'll also notice here that as he's singing through this riff, he's changing jaw position, even though he's not changing the vowel. It's not necessary, but it is showing that he's really deliberately trying to hit each of these pitches really cleanly. And the way he's found to be able to do that in a way that is consistent and predictable has meant that he's put his jaw into part of that process. And that's something we see in other performers, other artists. What I would be interested to hear is see what would happen if he didn't do that. Again, it's not a good or bad. It's not a comment that he's doing something right or wrong. It's an interesting thing that would be to see if it's just his body's manifesting how he's thinking of the music, or if it might get even easier if we're able to relax that jaw and keep it from having to feel the need to articulate the notes by movement. Be interesting. Again, gorgeous, gorgeous singing. Wow. I mean, clean, really limber, flexible riff there. You also notice that the airflow is really, really consistent all the way through that. There aren't little puffs of air. There aren't little pushing or pulling or dropping off. It's just super consistent. He's letting the mic do the work for him in terms of decibel level. He's just keeping it easy, smooth, and consistent. Awesome.
When I get through and die, I look around me and see a sweet life. Stuck in the dark, but you're my flashlight. You're getting me through the night. Kickstart my heart when you're shining in my eyes. Can't lie, it's a sweet life. I'm stuck in the dark, but you're my flashlight. You're getting me through the night.
Okay, so if you're looking at this group, I don't know their names well enough, so forgive me for that. You can comment down below and help me knowing who's who and how that goes down. But if you're looking at the group from the front and on the right, you're going to notice that each three of them have a slightly different way that they're shaping the mouth. And it's actually serving a really important function as an entire group. So if you're looking far right, you'll notice a little bit flatter but wider. A lot of tooth smile in there. That's going to keep that sound brighter, edgier. It's going to make the text more intelligible. And it's going to help him get the higher notes a lot cleaner. Middle person, there's a lot of height in it and width. It's really diamond shaped in the back here, right? So it's that a plus together. And that gives us more richness, more warmth, and works really well kind of as a central middle ground of what's going on in this group. And then if you're looking on the left, he has a lot of height to it as well, and a lot of width as well. And so he also plays kind of the middle ground. Again, he's a little brighter as well. A little more of this space than there is the tallness, at least from what I've seen so far. So the two in back are really kind of covering those higher, brighter, more text-heavy elements of the spectrum of sound, and the center fella here is covering the warmth, richness, fullness, that element that makes it sound so expressive and inviting. So cool. Anytime you have more than one person on stage, it's really crucial to think of your entire team and how to maximize each person's strengths so that you're contributing to the entire experience as a team and not duplicating effort, but adding something unique that's all geared towards expressing the same story, the same song, the same music, the same emotion. And they do a gorgeous job of that here. Love it.
Flashlight, 'cause you're my flashlight, 'cause you're my flashlight. Oh, I see the shadows long beneath the mountain top. I'm not afraid when the rain won't stop, 'cause you light the way, you light the way, you light the way. I got all I need when I get you inside. I look around.
Okay, another thing I really love here is what's going on with their hands. They got the whole pop hand gesture thing down, right? They're doing it all. It's like Mariah Carey hands with these young boys. It's really cool to see how intuitive that is for them and how much they've picked that up. It's not just that though. You'll notice that they're not all doing it all the time. That they have a really clear idea of who's the center of attention when. And you'll notice when they're supposed to be the center of attention, their hands become more animated. And when they're not, their hands become less animated. But across the board, their hands never freeze. They never get stuck in a position, right? They're constantly moving and fluid. That's really important from the audience standpoint, because as soon as they freeze, it's a cue to us, the audience, that something's wrong. So that they're keeping their body flexible, moving, and that their hand gestures are constantly moving and fluid, and that they're matching what they're saying. And their talking hands, they're just natural, expressive talking hands for the most part. Really awesome.
Me, I see the sweat. Stuck in the dark, but you're my flashlight. You getting me through the night. It's on my heart when you're shining in my eyes. Getting light, it's a sweet light. I'm stuck in the dark, but you're my flashlight. You getting me through the night. Light, you're my flashlight.
Okay, you'll notice a second ago when he went to that really high note that he didn't punch it. It's like he just whined right up there. He just dropped that jaw, kept that placement really forward right here in the sinuses, and just whined right up into it. Didn't push it, didn't force it, just let the air do it, got out of its way, just opened that throat. Lovely, lovely, lovely sounds going on there.
Light, you're my flashlight, light, 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 light. Oh, you're my flashlight. Oh,
Notice all three, as they went up there, we got this ass space, this 80% of yawning smile in the back, this upper two smile, jaw release down and back. Cool. The other thing that we heard across the board is this nice, consistent airflow as they're going up. The temptation for most people as they go to high notes is to feel like they have to all of a sudden push a ton of air and effort. It's got to be harder. Nope. Instead, think of keeping your abs suspended nice and open so they don't grab and get tight and tense or push. Try to keep that airflow so it's nice and consistent. Keep that placement consistent. And just let the acoustics take you right on up there. Nice and whiny, easy, comfortable. Don't feel like you have to, because it's higher, you have to sing louder. We already hear higher notes as louder notes. You don't have to make them any louder. Just keep it easy. Start exploring today by finding that by just sliding up to those notes, even in a speech-like voice. Yeah! I'm not trying to make it pretty. I'm just trying to go up and down, keeping it really as smooth up and down as I can without any push or pull. Then do the same thing with slides from the top down. Yeah! Trying to keep it nice and smooth, nice and consistent placement-wise, no push. I think if you'll start with those two, you're going to find that those higher notes start opening up and get easier and easier. Especially keep this open ass space, upper two smile, jaw release, ab suspension.
You're getting me through the night.
Okay, getting some awesome whistle tone up there. Theoretically, what's going on with whistle tone is that these vocal folds usually are kind of these flaps of skin like this, right? And that the entire thing then hits together and vibrates and makes sound. When we're talking about whistle tone, the idea is that it's like a zipper where only part of these vocal folds are opening and closing and creating a sound. And basically what that's doing is it's like it's shortening that vocal fold and it lets us get these higher notes. And that's what's going on. Key to that too is not pushing or shoving a bunch of air behind it, but letting yourself just wind up and get into that whistle tone area. So that's something that's really cool. Some people naturally can just hit it and find it easily and on their own, and other people it takes a lot of work. Another question I get a lot of is, how do I do riffs? They're just hard. I feel like they're clunky and they're not working well. Two big tips. Number one is to just slide through all the riff notes, keeping it really sloppy but just really fluid so that air keeps moving all the way through it. Yeah. Keeping that air moving and fluid is going to be the most important. Second thing that you can do is choose which parts of that riff you're going to accent. One of the things that makes it clunky for a lot of people is they try to accent each note equally. That's death. Instead, and what's going to make it sound more expressive is if it's like every third note, or every time you go back up or hit a high note, or wherever it is you're choosing to accent that, and then really throw the rest of them away. So we have fluid motion. It's going to keep your body from getting stiff and rigid and uncomfortable and tight and tense and have it be clunky. Not what we want. So if you're struggling and getting riffs and runs that are really fluid and really free and comfortable and clean, start with those two elements and see what happens.
Flashlight, light, light, you're my flashlight, light, light, you're my flashlight, light, light, you're my flashlight.
Okay, final thing I want to point out here that I think is so awesome is how excellent they are at keeping the energy of their eye focus outside of their own body, right? It's like they're engaging, they're really trying to communicate with somebody, something outside of themselves. The temptation for a lot of songs and for a lot of singers is to pull their focus inside their body and to really feel inside their body. We want you to really feel, but we don't want it to stay inside your body. We want you to share that with us, the audience. So one way you can help your body and the audience to feel that and engage that way is by taking that sound and imagining that you're sending it out through your eyes into the audience. Even if there's just a screen in front of you or you're in a studio, by imagining that you're sending it out into the distance. It's going to help your voice engage in a way that's healthier and more vibrant. It's also going to help your body be more expressive and nuanced. If you can take everything that you're thinking and feeling and place it outside yourself and imagine it happening out in front of you, that's going to help us engage with it. We're going to be able to see you see it. And constantly we're going to be able to see our own imaginary images and storyline playing out in front of us as well. Again, this is video 1 of them then, about 2 years ago. And stay tuned for 2 of 2, which is TNT Singing Now. You can find the links down below. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Tell me what you liked down below, what it is about these boys that you think is amazing. If you want a voice lesson or performance coaching or want me to work with you or your group to help you sing easier or perform at a consistently higher level, book a time with me at foundyourvoice.com or at mrperformingartsstudio.com. Same place, just starting to switch the URL name over to something that's a little easier to remember. And you can also find me on wizio.com if you want to send me a short clip for me to react to. I'd love to hear from you that way as well. I look forward to seeing you next time and to working with you online.